And also these.
Will I say, oh, will I go now? I came up with that line, you know. We're going to have a seminar. We're going to call it, should I stay or should I go? Yeah. I'm going to sing it in Chinese.
Oh.
Terribly sorry, because it is an end of a long day, so we could be bad.
Thank you for
I
waiting.
actually have an evil twin, but I promise to keep her suppressed.
Okay, well, I'll try and keep this very short and as quick as I can. I'm Commodore at Naval Point Club in Littleton. I'm not sure if you know Naval Point as an area very well, but
You do?
there's a lot happening over there at the moment, and there's a lot happening with ECAN and Port Company and also City Council and what they're attempting to do. So just want to put that together. So I've actually given you a copy of our submission to the Littleton Port Recovery Plan, which has just gone in with ECAN. There's a bit of preamble at the front, tells you a bit about what we are and who we are. And there's a bit at the back I want to talk to you about as well. You're most welcome to read the submission, and I encourage you to do that, but not right at the moment. And I've also given you a drawing as such which shows the area, and it shows some restrictions that are coming through on us now. So if I concentrate on a bit of land at the moment at the back, we have a recreation ground which is the Littleton area. We have a bit of council land that wraps around the rest of it, and we've got a Port Company land in the middle of here. And we also have, and that's the only public facility we have for the Greater Canterbury area, which is all tide, all access, and that's got to service the whole community, the whole Canterbury community. And like we started to deal with all the safety issues on those launching ramps many years ago, and that was going to be dealt with the marina that was getting built at the time by the Expedition District Council that started that, which you guys have inherited. That all fell to bits in 14 years ago when it came to bits, and none of that has actually happened. And at that time, we had a meeting with all the councillors. We had both councils over at the club, and we had a chat to them all about it. And they put aside $5.9 million for that protection of the public facilities, and also for some land enhancement at that time. Now I understand that most of that is now gone, or it's being filtered out in different ways, and there's only a small amount left on the land base. And you have some council staff working on the land side, which is great, Eric Banks and Abigail, and they're starting to engage with us. But I want to tell you about Naval Point. Now, Naval Point, we are the combination of the Maxminster Cruising Club we got thrown out of the inner harbour, and the CYMC, which is dinghies and charlie yachts. So we've got dinghies and charlie yachts and keelboats, and we formed Naval Point Club, not Naval Point Yacht Club, Naval Point Club, quite specifically in 2001, to be an encompassing group which would enhance for the whole community and cover all water sports and all recreation groups in that area. And that's worked particularly well, and we now represent, we've got a very strong wakarama part to us, and we've got paddlers and we've got SUPs and windsurfing, and it's growing incredibly. So we represent like 1,000 members at the moment, and we are the public good part of this area, and we have been for quite a while. We're a not-for-profit, obviously, and we're pretty much self-funding in what we do. We're in the situation at the moment that the building where it sits, which is the little blue building under the cliff face, is now half wrecked, and we will get an insurance claim on part of that and some repairs. We know we won't get a building consent to do those sort of works because we're within that yellow line, which is the 60-metre zone now that is under cliff zone that you can't build on. Yep. So we know we have to move out. So and Coast Guard are in the same situation. They're further down towards down to the other area. So we've combined with them to put together a community-based building, which will be the Naval Point Marine and Rescue Centre, and we're going to go actively out for funding for that soon. We're doing a fundraising feasibility study at the moment, which we're all contributing to, and we're quite serious with that. We've got sketch plans done with David Hill, and so we're getting pretty organised in what's happening. What we're concerned with is when you go to the last page of the submission, you'll find that there's a piece of land in there, and the blue area is what is currently zoned as the boat harbour zone, and there's some quite good rules around that zone which cover at the moment about recreational boats and facilities and businesses that will support those areas. There's a hatched area in here which is which is owned by the port company. I understand from your staff that some of that area will become across for recreational use, but we have quite a disconnect between the water of the recreation ground and this area here by that bit of port company land. And the ECAM plan would like to put that to port operations. Now we understand they won't only for a period of time while they reconfigure themselves, but that could be 20 years, and it's vitally important. The amount of mass of land in here is absolutely too small for Canterbury as a greater area for the recreational needs of what Canterbury has. If you look at any centre around New Zealand and what they've got available to them and launching ramps and recreational facilities for the marine industries, we are so far short. We sell ourselves so short. It's just not really acceptable as us as a city to do that. So we are obviously, and you'll read this mission, we're opposing that, and we're obviously trying to get your support on that part of it.
But is this in the recovery plan?
Yeah. So, but sorry.
I presume that you've made a submission.
Yeah,
to
we've
the
made a submission to that.
hearings
We're
panel.
opposing that. Yeah.
Right.
But what we can see is the development of this area is quite important, and we can see that we've got a lot of skill sets and we've got a lot of history in this area, and we'd really like to partner up with the City Council and try and resolve this and work out how we best do this, and we'd like the support of the City Council to do that.
Did the council take a position on it during the hearing?
We put our submission in, and just having looked at this, there is some alignment between what you're saying and what the City Council have said in some aspects. We kept our comments more to landside activity rather than the water activities. Yeah. But certainly, just glancing through this, there is some alignment between what you said and what we said in our submission. Right. Yeah, the area that Brownlee considered was out here. The ECAN seemed pretty much left that area alone. They didn't really. They talked about all the port-related stuff. It was obviously based on the port plan. I understand that it was an easy thing for them to do, and they made mention the City Council was looking at this area. So we think it's a complex issue. We think there's a lot of different parameters that got to be dealt with. We'd really like to partner with the City Council and try and resolve this and get it together. And we'd like your support in doing that. At the moment, we're not listed in the long-term plan, and we think we should be. And we'd like to find a mechanism that we can move forward and work on it.
Well, but this is going through a recovery plan process at the moment. So, I mean, we can certainly, where our submission lines up, but are we presenting, is the council presenting on that?
We will be, and we've asked to be heard, so right. We can, certainly speak to that. And
well, I think it's important that the council, I mean, I presume you're all over this yourself, but hey, local member here, I'm preferring in terms of the conversation, but and we've told everyone to set aside all ward issues, but I also know that Andrew's involved in this, the advisory group.
We had a working party within council that was the interface with the recovery plan process. We spent quite an amount of time with ECAN in the preparation of the preliminary draft as well, and in fact there were some changes made to the map that came out in the preliminary draft that you would have been happy to see those changes made. So what we tried to do was to suggest the port operations area should be minimised to the extent it possibly could be, to leave the maximum amount of space for recreational activities and boating activities. That aligns perfectly with the concerns you've expressed around this map here.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear.
Yeah. So, Tim.
The last piece on page 378 is boating safety with regards to the ramps and or weather protection.
Yes.
You mentioned also that 14 years ago the marina was damaged or destroyed. So prior to that being built, both those ramps were open to the southerly.
Yes.
So
to a certain extent, there was actually tyre breakwater which is around the bit of marina space that you own as council.
Okay.
At the western end.
So realistically, it's been going for more than 14 years, both these ramps have been going for ages.
Correct.
So therefore I find it really kind of hard to argue to support something there when we've got so much earthquake damage to do, if you find that.
Yeah. The safety issues that are over there have been there for a long period of time, and they've never been dealt with, and everyone's grappled with that for quite the Banks Peninsula District Council grappled with that as well. One solution to that was to put a marina in there, which was going to do it. Now, we're not suggesting a marina, but there needs to be wave attenuation. You get it, if you look at the dynamics, there's, in the population of Christchurch, there's like 20,000 boat owners. And if those people turn up on a northwest day, go boating, come back and a southerly comes in, they just about kill themselves on that ramp trying to get off.
Well, we've got a boat, we use it, but I mean, it comes back to, personal responsibility and looking at the weather and things.
But the ramps, there's a whole lot of technical stuff around it, the ramps aren't aligned properly and there's issues. But
I'm just wondering, are we able to progress this further, given that it's subject to a hearings process? Or can we take it offline so that our people, yourself and the rest of the team can work directly with the...
What I think what's happening with the plan is that they haven't really considered this in the ECAM plan. They've left it to the council. The council is the owner of the land, and I think we need to find a solution. I think you need to find a solution, and we really want to contribute to that.
So it's not covered by the recovery plan area?
The extent is covered under Brownlee's area, but there's no specific mention of that area. It just says the city council is considering that area. It doesn't go any further than that.
Yeah, the land zoning is covered by the ECAN plan. Like the Littleton Port Recovery Plan determines the land zoning for this area.
Yes,
because, of course, that overrides our own district plan review chapter that we would naturally have been looking at land zoning for this area through that. So then that determines the activities what the status of the various activities are on that land once the Littleton Port Recovery Plan has happened. And then, like the community board, for example, have made a submission to the long-term plan around boat safety in the Naval Point area. You'll be familiar with that. There's a landscape improvement plan for a part of the area that we're talking about to the seaward side, and obviously the community board and council are very aware of Naval Point's aspirations of a new clubhouse and the work that you're doing with the Coast Guard and so on. So I mean, I'm certainly happy to continue those conversations with you as the local councillor for that area, and Paula Smith as the community board chair probably would be an appropriate person to have at the table with those conversations.
But does
anything
that's being asked for here, is that dependent on the final result of the recovery plan? Because if it's not, then it's a separate matter than if it is.
That's right. I mean, most of what's been raised today is Littleton Port Recovery Plan issues rather than long-term plan issues.
Right. Okay. So, but once the recovery plan is concluded and we have certainty around the designation or the zoning of the particular area, then we would have to make a decision about allocations of funding for whatever it would be. Is that what you're saying?
What we're saying is it's quite a tricky area to deal with, and we've got a lot of expertise to offer. We'd like to partner up and come to some solution. We're not asking for a big handout. We want your support, and we want to partner up. And we represent
totally with you. I understand now. No, that's good.
And after the earthquakes, we found that we became the village hall. I've looked, and all the events came down there, all the social events, all the meetings came down, the Pilates group come down, the ladies yoga comes down. So we're running 7 days a week quite constantly. So when it comes to a huge amount, the Sea Scouts are affiliated with us for support. So we know we're the public good.
Yeah.
And we know we need to fund ourselves, and we need some support in those areas. But what we build there needs to be a community-based building that's going to be there for the next 50 years and the next generation. So
I've got to get it right. Yep, with you. Right. Yanni.
I mean, I think there's a financial question as well, but just the land zoning question. We've already made a submission to the Littleton Port Recovery Plan last week.
Yeah.
Did it include this area that's hatched around not rezoning it?
The position that we took through our submission was to keep the recreational area as large as it could be, and to have the port operation area smaller than was originally proposed in the preliminary draft. So it's been pulled back significantly from where it was at.
And that's pulled back from this, from the boat harbour zone. So we've specifically said we don't want the boat harbour zone being reduced.
The port zone wouldn't impinge on the boat harbour zone, but that whole area would be set aside for recreational purposes.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And then just the second thing I just wanted to check is, this gate 20. Sorry. I just wonder whether we need to think about meeting with the port, given we own it 100% now. So whether that's through CCHL or what, if there's another process, not through the port recovery plan, but to work
I know that the port company is really keen on this because they took, well, the chief executive took me for a tour around their area when I was running for mayor. So, I mean, there is a long-standing interest to the port company that this gets resolved at the same time as all the redevelopments happen. So, I think that an outcome from this presentation could well be the establishment of a joint working party with the Naval Point Club and the council, so that we can we can work through the various issues.
Yeah, because we want to understand tenure and to be able to do it confidently. And like the bit of port company land, we're meeting with Peter Davey shortly.
Right.
We could offer to buy that, or try and get security of it, but at the end of the day, it should be owned by the council for perpetuity.
Right.
You know? And it should be all recreation reserve, and we should be a tenant on that.
Yep.
And then if you on peppercorn rent or whatever the deal happens to be, but you guys, the council, should hold that, and for the greater good of the greater community. And this area is so important.
No, it is absolutely vital, and I don't think you get any argument from anyone around the table.
Yeah, that's great. Just want to stress that point and get us on the plan.
Excellent.
At least a one line item. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right, I will now adjourn the meeting. Thank you, and see you all at 8:30 tomorrow morning.